The Fall of the Roman Empire by Martine, Ethan, Kate, and Kevin. The Roman Empire was a very prosperous empire, but like all other empires, it eventually fell. But when did it fall? Well, many people have different theories. While one would say that the Roman Empire fell in 324 CE, others believe the year was 455 CE. In reality, nobody knows, and there really is no definitive answer. The falling of an empire is a slow, gradual process, so deciding when the empire fell depends on where you draw the line. When it comes to why the empire fell, people had different theories too. While some people would say that it was because of military problems, another would say that it was because of economic problems. In truth, it boils down to a combination of economic, military, and administrative problems that fed into each other and led to the empire's demise. The first branch of problems were economic. These problems began in 235 CE during Marcus Aurelius's reign, when Rome began to collapse. These problems persisted and led to the beginning of what is now referred to as the 3rd century crisis. Partially due to Rome's military issues, very few provinces were added to the empire during this time, and thus not adding to Rome's economy. To make matters worse, during this era there was a growing interest in material luxuries that did not come from Rome. This resulted in much of Rome's wealth being traded away for gold, silver, and silk. Furthermore, during a war against the Parthian Empire, a plague broke out and an estimated 10% of Rome died. Due to Rome relying heavily on manual labor rather than modern-day machines, a 10% population loss meant a 10% loss in labor that the economy relied on. As the economy became weaker, the government raised taxes and debased coinage. This caused inflation, so in order to fulfill people's needs, salaries had to be raised accordingly. Of course, soldiers demanded higher pay, and the government gave them this willingly, because the empire relied heavily on these soldiers. As a result of paying soldiers, the government became short of money. They needed to keep raising taxes and debasing coinage. This resulted in an ongoing cycle.
Following the 3rd century crisis, Diocletian, a Roman emperor, made reforms to try to get Rome out of their weak financial state. Diocletian decided to split the Roman Empire into 2 halves, the East and the West. Each half had 2 rulers, making Rome a tetrarchy. Diocletian also expanded the army and filled it with Germanic tribesmen.
Yet another branch of problems that the Romans faced were administrative issues. You may recall that during the 3rd century crisis there was an endless economic cycle involving inflation and therefore relatively low pay for soldiers. When a soldier was asked for a pay raise and wasn't satisfied with it, or lack thereof, when given an opportunity to acquire a higher pay, they would go with it.
During this time, many generals were quite keen on taking over the government, and with their soldiers unhappy with their pay, many of them pounced. Many armies abandoned the borders with their generals and took over the government, or at least attempted to. This became such a huge problem that at one point, 18 different people claimed to be the emperor of Rome. When it came to the Germanic tribes, not only did they fight the Romans, but oftentimes they made their way into the empire after being included in the army. The Germanic tribes really wanted to be included in society, and they did so well. After being literally in Rome's society, they demanded rights that were being denied to them. If they didn't get what they wanted, they would revolt and cause problems that Rome really didn't need at that time. Consequently, over time, the ex-Germanic tribesmen gained rights in society.